Well, we are a third of the way there as game week 13 is done in the Premier League. And I didn't quite think I'd be saying this, but Manchester City are all but out of the title race just into December. Merry Christmas all. It's the first time I think I can say that. We're now in December. That becomes acceptable. I hope you are all well. Now, Sean and Josh weren't available this week, so I have drawn in some very adequate replacements to go through all of the very best Premier League action this weekend. Firstly, Ollie, who's a very buoyant, of course, Liverpool fan after just watching that. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very happy now, of course, Jake, as you couldn't imagine. But yeah, I'm all right. How are you doing anyway?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, I've been better after yesterday, I'll be honest. But yeah, not too bad. And Conan is there, joining us. How are we, boys?
We're good, yeah.
Yeah, better than yesterday.
That was really sort of indicative of how we're probably feeling as a fan base. Right, let's start with Wolves 2, Bournemouth 4 then. Two funny sides. Wolves have been down the bottom, 10 games without a win under Gary O'Neill, and they got a couple of wins, but Bournemouth, they've been really steady this season under Andoni Iraola. Of course, this is the Gary O'Neill derby, really. Of course, he used to manage Bournemouth, and they've gone to the Molineux, scored 4, and they've got all 3 points, Cohen. Yeah, Bournemouth, they're looking good, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're doing well. Well, they've had an okay start to the season. They're not looking shaky. They're not looking like the best team probably in the league, obviously. But yeah, they're doing all right with obviously Wolves not doing the best under Gary O'Neill as well. So yeah.
Yeah, John, it's been a bizarre start for Wolves. So I honestly expected them to push on for the top half this season, and they've just stalled, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they're a strange team, like Wolves, to be fair. In like a sense of, I sort of tipped them to actually go down this season. I did think that because like they keep selling, not really like replacing. Obviously, like we gave them £40 million for Kilman, like things like that. But I think Gary O'Neill's a perfect fit for him in a way that he will get the most out of what they can do. Do you know? I mean, like if they sack him, where do Wolves go after that? You know, like they.
I think it's been. Yeah, I think we're probably in a similar position in terms of if you sack your manager, where are you going to go? And Leicester, who we're going to come on to in a second, have gone to Ruud van Nistelrooy after his 3 wins at Manchester United. We'll come on to that in a second. But overall, Wolves are at a crossroads, aren't they?
But that game though, Joe, to be fair, like both managers there, I actually rate both of them. I mean, like, say if Lopetegui went for us, I wouldn't be too bothered if either one of them coming for us, to be fair. I mean,
I'd love Iraola. I'd love for him to come to West Ham. Let's see who's joining us in the chat. Fathead, I hope you are well. Despite the terrible performance and result yesterday. Not good at all. Looking forward to Moyes being to City. Moyes going to City, and that's next week.
And then we can get Pep done.
Yeah. Sort of a swap, but not really. Keep them up and guarantee European football. They aren't quite as big. They aren't quite at being in Big Sam or Big Roy to stay up territory. No, they're going to be okay in that sense. Bournemouth have pace and energy all over the pitch. They've got everything we don't, which we'll come on to a little bit later. But yeah, Bournemouth are a solid mid-table side now. They've established themselves, and there's no doubt in that for sure. Good evening, Mark. Hope you're well. Get Noble and Keane caretaking. Well. Come on to that in a second. Next, we're going to go to the G-Tech Community Stadium. Ollie, Brentford 4, Leicester 1. Now, we just mentioned Leicester, new manager coming in. The new manager, Bamps, will be in full force, I'm sure, on Tuesday night as Ruud van Nistelrooy faces West Ham. But Brentford, they seem to score a lot of goals at home, and they seem to win when they're at home. And, again, established Premier League side.
Yeah, I haven't, managed a chance to see a lot of football this season due to like work and things, but Brentford I have been a team I've watched a bit, and they are really impressive. They think Thomas Frank, I rate him as a manager.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good manager. In fact, he's the type of manager I think like West Ham could do with somebody like that. It's a bit more. He's got them more organised. They've got a bit more identity to them, and they've got threats and they can score goals. So yeah, I've been impressed with him as a manager, and yeah, they are, like you said, Jake. They are like a really well-established Premier League side.
Absolutely. And so you've got Brentford, who, I mean, Kevin Schade scored a hat trick in this game, scored in the 29th, 45th plus 8th and 59th minute of the game to seal the game for the Bees. And they've got goals coming from a lot of areas. I mean, they've handled Ivan Toney going quite well. They've managed to get goals from elsewhere. That Embuemo I really rate for them. And overall, they've become a force. It's not a nice place to go, Brentford, because they're a tough side to beat at home.
Yeah, they are. They're very compact, aren't they? As it's Sepp Van Zenderberg as well, isn't it? The little centre half they got from Liverpool last season. He was always a pretty good outfit at Liverpool. I didn't think he wasn't quite good enough for them, but I think that was a good signing from Brentford to nab him. He's pretty good half. So yeah, he is a really good manager, Thomas de Frank. I think he'd do well at a bigger club. I do.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, you've got Leicester, who are entering a transitional period now with Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in on Tuesday. It feels like they sacked Steve Cooper. They need something going for him. I hope it's not on Tuesday.
No, Van Nistelrooy. I mean, he did. He looked like he was going to do really well at Man United, didn't he? He had a few good wins, didn't he? United.
That's probably what's got him a job, really, isn't it? He got 3 wins and he was guaranteed a job somewhere then, wasn't he?
Yeah. He definitely deserves to try. Maybe Leicester's, the perfect club for him. They're not doing very well at the moment. So if things don't work out, for him, it's not going to be a massive, loss for him, is it? I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Interesting for both sides. We are now going to go to the London Stadium. West Ham 2, Arsenal 5. Now, this comment, I think, probably illustrates it quite nicely. Great, we've recovered from the blip at Newcastle and now back to our best. I solemnly sat there and watched it from the upper tier of the Bobby Moore stand yesterday. And Cohen, I've never felt so, not never, I just felt disattached from it. I felt it was like obvious what was going to happen, and the corner goal and everything about it. I'll let you take it away, but not a good evening at the office.
Yeah, totally agreed. I mean, terrific play. As soon as I saw him go in that corner, that weird corner thing, there was like they're back at the back post. I was going, what's the point in us marking them? Because we know that they're going to run in. So why don't we just go at the front post and wait for it? And then when he kicks it, we clear it. And then also, I knew as soon as he kicked that ball in for a corner that they were going to score, because they always score from corners. And, I mean, well, Emerson's free kick was, ridiculous. The thing is, we have no attackers. We only have fullbacks to score for us.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with that corner routine. Now, look, Gabriel has now scored in his last 3 visits to the London Stadium, all from corners. And I can envisage every one of them, actually, from when they beat us 2-1 when they had that yellow kit on, and last year when they battered us 6-0, and of course yesterday, where he scored again. John, this corner routine isn't anything new. They've done it for a year, 18 months, Arsenal, and still nobody has found any sort of counteracting defence to it, really. It's baffling.
It wasn't just that corner, but like the one which he scored from, they done the same routine about 3-4 corners either side of that as well. And we had no idea what to do with that, like completely clueless, right? It was just baffling, like how it was literally like men against boys, really, I thought, It was, like defensively yesterday, goalkeeper was. I thought Fabianski was quite poor yesterday. Yeah, but just like defensively, I thought we were weak. We were really poor. Really poor. Look, like the 2 goals in quick succession that brought about the 4-2. That sort of papering over the cracks because I thought it could have been anything before that.
Mm.
I do think the second penalty was harsh. I really do.
Sort of,
right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and potentially if we go into 4-2 down, look, I mean, I don't think there was any doubt that Arsenal go on and win that game, but I think going into 5-2, I think that completely killed the game, you know. And that killed the second half as well, in some ways, you know.
Yeah, Arsenal sort of sat back and went, "Oh, well, that'll do." 3-goal buffer. That's not, and it was a really rather boring 45 minutes that followed. Then in the second half, we played some nice stuff in there. Look, on another day, we win it. If we play like that against Leicester, there's a fair chance we might win, right? With that individual brilliance from Emerson, and we played some quite nice stuff in the second half, which is not quite enough to break down Arsenal. They said, "Right, break us down," and we couldn't quite do it in that sense. But I mean, Kilman really sloppy going defensively against a team like Arsenal. Really can't afford to make those sort of mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. I think also when we were in front of goal, we weren't clinical enough as well. I mean, defensively, we're just poor. I mean, the only defender who can do a proper job is our right back, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only thing that Tadibo can do is, he can win every header in the game because of his height.
But like keeper wise, Jake, where do we go? Do you know what I mean? Like it's very split between like Areola hasn't started the season well. He then got dropped. Fabianski come in and he's been decent, but where's the longevity of that? Do you know what I mean? And like where? I don't know.
I think it was a. Do you know what? With the goalkeeper thing, I think it was a really narrow-minded, short-term decision to put Fabianski back in. If I'm totally honest, look, I wasn't overly convinced by him doing it to start with, and then I was like, okay, right, he's not made any mistakes, Fabianski, right? He's proved the decision, and yes, Areola, especially at the near post, have been sloppy, and I could accept that, but. You've got to look at it as Areola is significantly younger. I actually think Areola is a better shot stopper, not at his near post, but I think overall Areola is a better shot stopper. They're both as bad as each other with their feet, right? They both can't distribute it to save their lives. So, I mean, he's dug a hole here, Lopetegui, and I don't know how he gets out of it in terms of goalkeepers.
I do think that Areola's that. I think he's that bit quicker when he releases the ball, though. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes Fabianski, he stalls on that sometimes, you know, and but like again, I mean, you know, like you can't keep swapping goalkeepers around, you know, like it's
exactly. So maybe he's going to stick with one, and it's going to be Fabianski. Wouldn't it be nice to have a keeper that you've got behind your shoulder there? Big Ludo, hey, John, what a goalkeeper he was. But let's take some of his comments. Ken, hope you well. I don't think I've ever seen two contrasting games as much Newcastle away and Arsenal at home. I didn't think we'd win yesterday, but there was no fight for 40 minutes, and that's just not acceptable. What a way to ruin your Turkey day. Absolutely. For Larry there. Absolutely. Pete, I hope you are well. Ruined all of our weekends. Look, I mean, you could argue either way. If Somerville would have held back a bit, then we would have got that goal.
That actual finish was unreal, by the way.
It was unreal. Brilliant finish. Yeah,
it was
brilliant
unreal.
Finish. Absolutely.
But then obviously, like Leicester Tuesday night, Kudos is back. You know, it's.
Does he come back in though?
I don't know if he starts. You know, I really like Somerville. I think he brings something of where he's raw. He just seems unfazed about stuff. You know,
he protects the ball, which is what's the most like impressive to me because of his height and his lack of physicality. The way he protects the ball is better than most. To be honest, he don't get nudged off the ball easy. Somerville, when he's got a really big call to make on Tuesday night, whether he sticks with Somerville or whether he goes with Kudus. I don't know which way he's going to go, but all of that is to come.
I personally would start with Somerville and then you bring Kudus on for.
It's a different game.
Like whoever.
Because what I'd like to do is I'd either take Paqueta off and put Kudos in the middle, or I'd take Antonio off, put Bowen up top, and just kind of like shift it around from there.
I think it's the dream to have Kudus in the middle and then to have Somerville out on the left. I don't think Lopetegui would do it, but that's what I'd do. Absolutely, that's for me to get them all in and on form. Then that's what I would do. But that's all to come and all to look forward to. Had a Tuesday night, live on Amazon Prime. Yeah. But yeah, exactly. We'll go to Stamford Bridge next into Sunday's games. Ollie, Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. Aston Villa winless in 8. And Chelsea, I think they're third on alphabetical order or something quite obscure like that. They're charging on, Chelsea.
Yeah, they do. I thought Chelsea they seemed to have a little blip at some point during the season too, didn't they? At some point they went down, but they've started winning again. Yeah, I think Aston Villa are having a dip at the moment too, aren't they?
Yeah,
they seem to. I think that's got a lot to do with like the Champions League nights they're playing. There's quite a lot. It's taken the toll out of them. But yeah, Chelsea are really impressive. They look like they're hitting form again. It's going to be scrap for top 4 between them and City, I think, at the moment. But,
Villa's last win in the Premier League came on the 19th of October.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, so they are really, really struggling. And then you've got the two contrasting parts of it. Go on, John.
No, do you think Emery's turned into Lopetegui?
Well, that's a statement. I don't know.
Where's Tottenham 2 in the league? I can't think. Where's Spurs 2 in the league at the moment?
So Spurs, who drew to Fulham today, are 7th.
He's 7th. Oh, yeah, they're still quite well.
Below Nottingham Forest, I must say, who are a point off Manchester City going into December, right? Let that sink in. Nottingham Forest are a point off Manchester City in December, which is absolutely bonkers to start with, right?
Christ.
Yeah, but there we go. Yeah, Chelsea, really good side. Villa struggling. Ollie, how do you think Villa get out of this rut before the Champions League returns?
Yeah, I know. Like I was saying, I think that's the reason they're not. They're struggling in the league this season because they are playing these Champions League games, and they haven't really got like a massive squad. So it's taking it out of them. They just need to rest some of their key players, I think, and it's difficult, isn't it, when they haven't got a big squad.
Yeah, I mean, the sort of 2 games a week carries on into December because of the festive fixtures. I mean, everyone's got a midweek game this week, and they've got midweek next week because of the Champions League. They've got Brentford midweek, and then Southampton at home next Saturday, which feels rather significant for Unai Emery, and that is one to watch. That is for sure. But yeah, interesting games. Return to West Ham. Kudus in the 10 and keep Somerville on. That's what I do. Absolutely. Yes, Bowlesy, they are. You're back. You've returned, Bowlesy. I hope you're well. Aston Villa looked toothless today. They did, and work to be done for Unai Emery. We're next going to go to Old Trafford, where a new era is well underway. At Old Trafford, Ruben Amorim registers his first home win in the Premier League, and it's convincing that Cohen. I'll start with you. Man United 4, Everton 0. Everton are a funnily bleak side, but it'll give Man United some confidence, won't it?
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
Hang on, Ollie. Hang on.
I'm sorry. No, you carry on. That's all right.
No, not your side. Not your side. Side in the blue. But,
Cohen, fire away.
Yeah, I think Everton, they were not good starting this season, losing after game, and at that point I was like, if they carry on this form, they will get relegated. But then they come into it with a couple of wins and then losing. I think they're a bit of a weird side, Everton, but then also Man United, obviously, when they had Ten Hag, they were a bit shaky as well, but with the new manager coming in, there's like different roles and he's trying to fit in different players, which is working as well. Like me and my dad were saying, we think that potentially Rashford could be back in a way of he could be playing good roles for himself and start bagging goals. Because didn't he get 2 today?
Yeah, 2 today.
Yeah, I mean, some confidence for the players. It's become a graveyard, Man United, John, and they need a bit of confidence back there if they're going to get anywhere near where they want to be. Whether Amorim can bring it, I don't have a clue. I doubt it, but it's a good start for him today.
I don't know. Look, I mean, like, that's a massive club, obviously. You know, in like anyone to take that over has got to have something about them. As much as what Ten Hag won, sort of like trophies there as well, to be fair, but they never looked like they were so inconsistent. You know, I mean, it's like the last so many years. If we ever played them at home, I always fancied us to beat them. You know, and going back when I was a kid, I never felt like that against Man United. Like you was always inferior against them. You know, but you know, someone else coming in. You know, like what Co was saying there. I just think from like a positive thing, I hope for England that Rashford comes back, because I think on his day, I think he can be
brilliant.
I think he can be unplayable. So yeah. Look, it's early days. I do think there's a big rebuilding thing there, though. You know,
literally and metaphorically in terms of the team and the stadium. There, everything needs a revamp, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. There's you know, like, let's face it. I mean, like, basically, like, Ten Hag bought so many different people from Ajax and didn't buy the best one, which was Kudus. You know, it was like, you know, it was, you know, I mean, just summing up, like, what was it, 60, 70 million on
should have got De Jong as well, but that never fell through.
on Anthony.
No, 95 million plus adults.
Onana's never looked comfortable. Like, it's just, I mean, like, De Ligt now doesn't really do anything. Like, there's so much there of where I think there's people there on names who, there's I mean, there's not been too many times when I've looked at a Man United team and then gone, I don't think that I would take their players at West Ham, you know, and like that's what it seems like now.
Yeah, and I mean their next task is a tough one as they go to the Emirates midweek to face Arsenal. That will show early on the guile of Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, like that will be a good test for him.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know,
the new manager.
You know.
And to be fair, I wouldn't mind them going there and beating them, because we are all now on the Liverpool train to the title, because we can't have Arsenal winning it. So I don't particularly like to say it, but I'm going to become a Liverpool fan slightly for the next 6 months or so. And it started off well today. I mean, it relatively put Manchester City's title hopes to bed. Unfortunately, 5 in a row looks like a distant dream right now for Pep Guardiola, who found and saw the comical side of you're getting sacked in the morning as it went round, and he just showed the to be fair, he showed the Man City fans at the end and the Liverpool fans how many league titles he's won at Manchester City. Sit back down, Liverpool fans. Sit back down. Ollie, Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. All good under Arne Slot.
Yeah, no, I think Liverpool are absolutely superb. You know, today they were tremendous. They were brilliant against Real Madrid during the week, and you know, they fully deserve to go on and win the league, if not both. Yeah, you know, Man City are playing with a lot of injuries, which is showing a big difference. Obviously, they're missing Rodri, it's clear, and the other, I can't think of his name, midfield player they're missing. Yeah, but that's having a big toll on them. But people, you know, seem to forget that Liverpool, you know, in early February this year, they were in a similar situation. We were top of the league by 5 points. We had a few injuries and we collapsed. So it just shows you, you know, what can happen, you know, with a couple of injuries into a side. And I'm just really pleased, you know, for Liverpool that they are capitalising on it, because, you know, they are absolutely superb. I mean, Arne Slot just looks tremendous. You know, he's got them playing so well. They're just so compact. They're so much more patient. Everybody can score goals.
You know, it's been a seamless transition that has got better instantly, Ollie.
Yeah, you know, that a thing. You know, a lot of things people will say. That's Jurgen Klopp's team. He's inherited Klopp's team, so you can't really judge him on how good he's going to be until he's actually made some signings. You know, lost a few players, but from the way he plays, it's clear that, you know, we're confident he is going to be able to keep it gelled, you know, with the new players eventually to come in, you know, because he's just he's got them playing so well together. But yeah, really, it is still Jurgen Klopp's team that. But
Yeah.
we will see. We'll see soon.
And he's made it better and instilled his own ethos on it.
Yeah.
Let's get your guys' thoughts on this. Do you think Manchester City are out of the title race, boys?
No.
No?
Well, actually,
Look. I mean, look. I personally can't see it. I can't see them winning it again. But I would never rule them out because they're the team which, at some point, can go and win
14 games.
Yeah, like 14 games straight back. You know, but they look
different, don't they? There's a noticeable difference.
And sort of what I was saying about Man United, I think again, where he's now signed on for 2 years, I think there's another massive rebuild there with Man City because they look quite old. I mean, like Kyle Walker looks a shadow of Kyle Walker from 2-3 years ago. You know, like there's certain players there. I mean, like that Nunes isn't, you know, I don't know, like what does he do? I mean, like he don't stand out.
I think their recruitment has gone under the radar because of how good their first team has been.
Yeah.
Like they've signed players, but I mean, they haven't been very good, have they?
And, but then I've always said though, Jack, I mean, yeah, and I know that he didn't play today. I've always felt that someone like Ederson's overrated. I really do think I don't think he's the best keeper there. You know, I mean, I personally think like the likes of Martinez, Raya, Alisson, head and shoulders above him. You know, I really don't. You know, I think they've got weak links there massively, and the skin massively exposed now.
Yeah, they are beginning to be exposed, and Pep doesn't really seem to have an answer to it. Cohen, Man City out the title race or not?
I mean, you can never doubt City. They're like I said to my dad, they can go on from after this Christmas break and go and win so many games in a row. And I mean,
can you see Liverpool? The thing is, can you see Liverpool slipping as well, though? Because they are tremendous at the moment.
No.
Yeah, but I do think there might be a bit, Ollie, at some point where everybody has like a little bit of a balance spell somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and the Christmas period is like the key thing generally, isn't it? You know, I mean, because where those games come thick and fast, you know, and but the one thing with Liverpool is though, attacking wise, they could get like the odd injury. It won't affect them because they've got 6 great attacking players who, if 2 of them get injured, like you've still got 4 to pick from, basically. You know, if someone like Van Dijk goes,
that's a problem.
You know. But then generally, like, I do think Liverpool got some strength of depth. I mean, like both keepers are brilliant. I think as well. Like Kelleher, you know, I mean, like sort of like Addison's been out, and like Kelleher's just.
He's been like the best
Kelleher would. Kelleher would get him most Premier League sides comfortably. You know,
he's a top keeper.
Team in the world, mate.
I think we're quite happy that City have lost. Well, haven't won 7. Because...
Going back to it, as long as Arsenal don't win it, I don't care.
Yeah,
exactly. I am exactly the same. Yeah.
I mean, I think me and my dad are happy that City haven't won 7 because of my brother. He switched up from West Ham to City.
Oh, how have you let that happen?
Yeah, well, I don't feed him no more. He goes to bed.
Oh no,
that's the spirit. That's the spirit. There we go. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. I mean, it's interesting. It's been a really significant Premier League weekend, and I think towards the end of the season, it might be that game we've just watched this evening that could be the difference. I typically agree when talking about this Man City side that they will find a way, but I don't know. This time around, something just feels different. They feel,
it does feel different.
You know, they feel just down, and I just can't see them coming back from this. They had to win today, and they didn't. And Liverpool are loving life. So all aboard the Liverpool train because we cannot have Arsenal winning it again. We will rejoin you. I'll be back with the lads tomorrow night for our Leicester preview, where we'll be talking all about whether it's do or die for Julian Lopetegui and for Ruud van Nistelrooy's first new manager bounce game. Of course, it comes against West Ham, sod's law. But Cohen and Ollie and John, thank you very much indeed, all of you, for joining me this evening. Any final thoughts?
Come on,
your irons. Absolutely. I'll echo that. Ollie, a bit of come on your irons.
Come on, you Irons.
There we go. There we go. We'll have it. Go on, Ollie. Thank you very much.
Lopetegui out, Pep in.
Thanks everyone for getting involved in the chat, and we will see you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. Goodbye. Cheers, gents. Thank you.